Hello and welcome again to another episode of Talk Car Sing Song TCSS. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'm just going to dive straight into this. Today we're going to be talking about something very, very interesting. And I must say something that's very close to my heart as well. We are talking about car modifications. Yes. Both legal, illegal, and everything else in between. Okay? So we're going to be talking about car modifications. And again, today I have my dear good buddy, Mr. Aiden, my fellow Motorist presenter. All right? He's joining us. And we also have another special guest, Thern Yang, who is a car enthusiast. Both of them joining us or joining me today on this episode of Talk Car Sing Song, where we're going to be talking anything and everything about car modifications. Okay, I'm going to kickstart this topic, and I've warned all my producers that it's going to be really long because there's so much grounds to cover and so many things to talk about. All right, so car modifications. There are, for those of you who don't already know, there are actually legal modifications which you can do, right, to your car. And of course, there are the illegal modifications. But first and foremost, why modify your car in the first place? Maybe to kick things off, let's start off with Aiden. Aiden, what are your thoughts on car modifications and why should someone even modify their car in the first place?
I mean, I think the very easy reason as to why you want to modify your car is because there's something in your car or about your car you're not happy with, right? There's something you want to change.
Yep.
So, I mean, depending on how you define modifications, can be anything from as simple as, changing, like wrapping your door mirrors so they are a different color from what they came from the factory.
Yep. So I think, right, what you mentioned is really important. We should first clearly define what we mean by modifications. So by your standards, any change at all that you do to the car can be classified as a modification, right?
I think that's the dictionary standard of what modification means.
Okay. So is that what we're going to be talking about now?
I mean, yeah, I think as an like overarching term for modifications, we can just refer to everything different you would change, about a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to set the record straight, anything that you would change, all right, be it even a sticker or, that you're going to stick on your windscreen, whatever it is, anything that you would change the appearance, the performance to your car, besides how it actually rolls out of the factory stock, we take it as modification. So why do you think someone would want to modify their car? Like you mentioned, maybe there's something that they don't like about their car. That's one of the main reasons why someone would want to modify their car. I think that's a good point. How about you, Thern Yang? What would you think is one of the main key reasons why someone would want to modify their car?
I mean, like, you can just relate it to regular life. How the ladies apply makeup, how as men we dress in different ways, different styles. Everybody wants to add like their own personal touch, personal flair to the car. Make it theirs, make it distinctive, recognizable from the crowd. I mean, if everyone's going to be driving like a regular, like, say,
Vezel?
Honda Civic. Yeah, personally, I drive a Vezel. Yeah, fight me, I drive a Vezel, okay? I mean, if everyone drives a Vezel and it looks all the same, can't tell the difference between the Grab car and a regular non-PHV Vezel. So, I mean, you modify it, put like a Lambo, I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, you put a Lambo looking kit on your Vezel.
I think I know which car you're talking about.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If you're watching this,
Mr. Lambo Kit Vezel Man.
I have nothing to say.
I have seen the Lambo kit Vezel and dear Lord... But yeah, personally, I feel that modifying your car is just to make it yours. To add that little, you flavor to that car, no matter how garish or unpleasant it may seem to others.
Okay.
I'm looking at you, Lambo, Vezel,
body kit guy. So I think we have some opinionated views here, but I just want to put this for the record, right? So just like what you said, there are many reasons why, they want to make it different. They want to change their car, make it something special, stand out of the crowd, whether it's a Lambo kit or whatever it is. I would say to each his own. So what I'm going to do is, basically I'm going to say that I'm not going to comment on what your modification is. I must say there are some really interesting modifications and then there are some really Lambo kits. I mean, some not really nice modifications out there. Okay, so to each his own. But, okay, maybe Aiden, tell me, what do you think is the main or one of the more common modifications people actually do to their cars and why?
I think the standard few modifications that people do are things like exhaust.
Exhaust modifications.
Yeah, so it make your
Okay.
car sound a bit better.
Okay.
Suspension,
Okay.
make your car handle a bit better.
Okay.
Engine performance mods. So if you have a turbo car, maybe a bigger turbo, different turbo.
Okay.
Then you also have, like preventive, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I got it.
Maintenance kind of mods, like,
Yep.
bigger, like better cooling,
Yep.
higher flow fans, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Now, sorry, I just want to state this for the record. If you actually go on to the LTA website, right, there's actually an entire list. Maybe we can leave the link, guys. The entire list of modifications that you are allowed to do. Now, for example, I just want to start off by maybe talking about the very first one that you mentioned, exhaust modifications. They are, I think by now you guys already know, they are legal exhaust mods, which you can, do. And then they are, of course, the illegal ones, where you just cut off the pipe. So there are legal mods, there are illegal mods. So why would someone go through the hassle of, doing an illegal modification when there are legal mods out there, for example, for your exhaust? What do you think?
Maybe there's like the specific exhaust they wanted is not approved, or maybe your car doesn't have an approved exhaust yet,
Okay. So for
or
that
for
reason,
I think just pure cost reasons. Because I think
easier to
just
just drop the exhaust
just
Actually, yeah, I agree with Aiden on
That's
that
what,
point.
like,
The price, the
operating
price
your
point.
exhaust is a lot cheaper than buying, like an approved system.
actually, yeah, that's because some of these approved systems are very costly.
Yeah.
Okay. Thern Yang, what do you think about the current, since we're on the topic of exhaust mods, I'm not just using that as an example, for the current list of mods. So you know how some cars have approved systems and some don't, and some cars, although they may be similar, like for example the Civic FD and the Civic FD Type R, they are essentially, they may look similar but they are not. But you have different allowed modifications. What do you think about the existing exhaust modification rules for the different cars that we have out there?
I mean, personally, I feel that the list can be expanded a bit. Like, why is one exhaust from this manufacturer allowed, but then the next one is not allowed? Like,
Okay.
even I'm just going to mention the Vezel again.
Okay.
Vezel and HRV, I know, fight me. Vezel and HRV.
Okay.
I mean, they are more or less the same platform, and I would assume they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why is an exhaust legal for the Vezel, but not legal for the HRV?
Okay.
What is the difference?
Okay.
I think that's down to do with LTA's homologation
Yeah.
thing.
Am I
Right?
allowed to say that LTA is whatever you think I'm gonna say?
I have no clue what you're
what
going
you
to say,
gonna
but I would say just go out there and say it, man.
They can find better things to do. Okay.
Don't worry, LTA. I got your back. I will rebut him. Don't worry. Okay, come.
Honestly, I feel that LTA should have better things to do than disturbing us about this kind of like minor things like exhaust.
Okay. On this topic, right? Thern Yang, I think you probably speak for a lot of car enthusiasts out there, right? And I even have had personal friends of mine, they LTA little bit also disturbed. This one cannot, that one cannot, all these kind of things. But then again, right? I'll just for the sake of this discussion, I'll play the devil's advocate, and I'll tell you, right? So there are many reasons why you shouldn't just simply modify your exhaust without proper rules and without proper tests done to the car. Because let me tell you, this is what I know, right? So there are certain exhausts that actually do damage to your vehicle, if you don't install it right, or if you're thinking of just like chopping it off, or like what you mentioned, your bus kilang or Malaysian lorry kind of exhaust, you're actually doing damage, to your vehicle. You are polluting, all right, the air, which is bad, right? We don't want to leave a carbon footprint, and you're gonna wake that baby up at night. You're gonna give their parents a tough time putting that baby back to sleep. So what would be your response to that?
Don't have kids, so you can have more money for your car.
What? Oh my god. Okay.
I mean, okay, but
Okay.
I mean, okay. Jokes aside,
Alright.
we should be, morally and civic-minded citizens. Yes.
Okay.
I admit that when I hear those like Land Solutions with their
Oh my
pop
God.
exhaust,
Yeah, oh my God.
and all the, like some 318, 316 BMW just like popping his
Yeah,
exhaust
there's
down.
I think there's we can actually single out the actual. I mean, given a choice, I would even tell you the number plate, but you know who you are, right? You know who you are, okay?
All you
Yeah, you were saying-
Euro guys with your pop exhaust, but going 0 to 100 nowhere fast, that kind of thing. Like,
Exactly.
I agree. Okay, I like good sound and everything, but when your exhaust starts just getting obnoxious or sounding like
There's
those,
a time and place.
Yeah,
For
when your exhaust starts sounding like those mud and pit going down my street at night, really. Yeah, and then pa that kind of thing. Like, bro, I'm trying to watch my.
Go on.
My
Netflix
Disney Plus. I'm trying to watch my Disney Plus at 12 midnight while trying not to trying to enjoy
with
my
lotion at the side. Yeah.
Yes, with the lotion at the side. Yes, so I mean,
okay.
I mean, and then going back to the babies and everything. Trying to and then like I actually recently saw a video with regards to your pollution thing. I actually recently saw a video on Instagram, from the US. An SF90 was fitted with the Novitec exhaust, and the car's computer actually realized it was not the stock exhaust. It started to like smoke like hell.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like the engine started to emit a lot of the exhaust started to emit a lot of smoke, and then when they fitted back the regular exhaust, the stock exhaust, the computer was like, okay, I'm fine. So I think could be the whole pollution issue. I'm not sure that one. I'm not sure. I'm just quoting it as an example, but it could be due to the the whole,
So I just want to state for the record, I'm not from LTA, by the way. Okay, in case you don't already know, but this is just my personal experience. When I first started driving about 40 years ago,
revealing your age, Jackie.
At that point of time, right, I was doing a lot of these modifications, illegal modifications. I would chop off the exhaust, I would decat it, I'll do all kind of funny things, and then whack and all that. But then as time goes by and I start to age, mature, wiser, older, more handsome, whatever it is, I start to realize that I start to see the logic behind why there are these set of rules and guidelines, And as much as a car enthusiast that I am, and for those of you who know me personally, the kind of rubbish I do past midnight, all right, when the streets are quiet, as much of an enthusiast that I am, I start to actually understand why, LTA has these regulations for exhaust mods and certain mods. Again, I'm not advocating for them and not saying the entire list makes perfect sense. There are still quite a number of things there which I find questionable, all right? But if you talk about one of the main things, like both my guests have highlighted, exhaust mods. So these are the kind of things that I now start to realize there are reasons, many different reasons why you should not do an illegal exhaust modification, And just like what you mentioned at the start where you say that, I don't know why LTA is this and that. So, I don't know, would you agree that these three simple points that I highlighted actually kind of make sense?
Begrudgingly, yes.
Yeah. What about you, Aiden? What do you think?
No, I think it definitely makes sense. It's I think, you can liken it to when you get older and then you get into a more of a Squidward kind of phase.
Thank you. Thanks.
I want to disagree with you, but I can't.
When you're younger, you're more SpongeBob, and then you're older, you become Squidward.
I just want to be.
You start understanding. Just start understanding him a bit more.
That you hate the world.
It's
you
just
want to die, Squidward. But no. Okay, no, I don't. That's a bit too extreme, lah. Squidward, no, not to that extent. But I think it's seeing the logic behind it. Okay, I'll give you you know what? In fact, instead of me giving you an example, tell me another very common modification that you would say that many people like to do now besides exhaust. Tell me something.
Many people like to do now.
Yeah.
How
so
about
besides
putting
exhaust,
a GT wing on a car that isn't meant to have a GT wing?
Okay, so
Like a certain Mitsubishi Lancer.
that's a good point, because just so you know, and this part's a grey area because you have GT wings. For those of you who don't know what a GT wing is, go Google it. I have no time to explain.
Big picnic table on your back.
Yeah. So GT wings, there are the approved ones and there are the non-approved ones. To find out which is which, you can go on the website again and check. But correct me if I'm wrong, right? So if you want to have a GT wing, first thing, you cannot exceed the width and the height of the car, and you cannot have any sharp edges. But besides that, I don't think of any other reason why the wing would not be approved. Am I right? Am I missing something out?
More or less, yeah.
More or less there, right? Okay, so what's your take on the GT wing? Tell me. The GT wing.
Honestly, if your car is pushing 130 to 150 horsepower, do you really need a GT? I mean, let's be honest, like even your car is pushing 400 horsepower. If you're not going on a track, you're driving everyday traffic in Singapore. Do you really need a GT wing? Do you need that downforce?
What about true, but what about aesthetics wise?
I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks good, but don't put one that is like 2 stories tall and then like
Wait,
it's a mahjong table.
There's a Subaru. I think it's an Impreza. I don't know if you know which I'm talking about. I've seen this picture once. Local. If you are watching, you know who you are. It's a blue Impreza with an ridiculously high GT wing. Ridiculously high. I'm talking about, I don't know how you enter multi-story car park kind of high. So yeah, okay. So those are extreme cases, lah. Okay, but yeah, okay. So what you are saying is you don't see the need for people to put these kind of GT wings if they are not pushing high horsepower.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
In my opinion, a subtle one, not too high.
Okay.
Within reason, like a low one for a little
Okay.
bit of aesthetics.
Okay.
I think it's alright. But when your car does not even pushing enough horsepower, you're just generating drag.
No, but you see GT wings on like the strangest cars. I saw one like 2 days ago on a on a Hyundai Avante.
I see one.
It was huge, and I mean,
Hey, the
GT wings
Hyundai
aren't-
Avante is a very good car.
No, it is.
I'm joking.
I like it. I do like the new Avante. I reviewed the new Avante.
Komoko, if you're listening
Yeah.
to this,
Hyundai, if you're watching, right, you've
Yeah.
seen my
Okay.
review of the new Avante.
Okay,
I like the new Avante, but this was
I'm talking about the old one, lah.
Yeah,
okay?
this was
so-
the old one, and it had a whacking great GT wing on the back. And
Okay.
I mean, GT wings aren't cheap, you know.
Okay.
For if you buy a nice one of that size, you know, it's what $400-500 at least, right?
I was
Okay.
thinking about
Or for 500 ringgit, since now the borders are open.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
But still, for $400-500 ringgit, $400-500, you can do a lot more of that money other than putting a GT wing on your little family car.
Okay, but wait, hold on, right, hold on, guys. So the thing is this: we are not, because you see, if you talk about this, basically it still comes back to the same point of what works for you, right? At the end of the day, and like what I mentioned at the start, to each his own. Maybe he likes a GT wing, he puts a GT wing. You don't see the need for it. You find it really ugly on some cars, but hey, again, to each his own. But the question here is this: what do you think about the difference between a legal GT wing and an illegal GT wing? Just like how we compared it to the exhaust modification. Simply put, do you think LTA's justification of this GT wing rule works?
No, I think it makes sense.
It makes sense?
Like, to
You
not have
agree?
your wing dimensions come out beyond the width of your car, above
Okay.
the height of your car.
Okay.
As to why some people might put that on their car,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe they ordered, then it came to the wrong size, and it's like, oh, it's here already, just put lah. You know?
Okay.
Because to me, I can't think of any other reason. Like, I can't imagine, you know, that, you know, these fellas are off doing, you know, time attack or something. When
What?
you need,
Yeah.
you know, a giant wing, right?
On a Avante.
Yeah.
But you never know, man. Next Sepang track day, you know?
Hey,
Avante
there's that Avante.
clocking 220s and all that. Okay, what do you think then?
I would think it's like perhaps for accident, like what could happen in an accident. Anything could happen in an accident that the GT wing could be dislodged if the impact
Yep.
is hard enough, and that is an extra projectile that could hit
could
the
be-
other vehicle,
It end up in your mouth.
or it could end up hitting surrounding pedestrians. I think
Yep.
that could be the safety issue.
No, I think the other thing, okay, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but you know, even as it is, right, on public buses, the wing mirrors are like already hanging out into the pedestrian walkway.
Oh yeah, it is. I've nearly been clipped by those.
Yeah, I'm
times already.
always like constantly afraid, you know, that I'm just gonna pop, you know, my head on one of
LTA,
the
you
mirrors.
should start stopping all the SBS buses, summon them for the wing mirror.
I mean,
No, okay, but
not that I think
yeah,
it doesn't make sense, you know. I don't think there's a double
there for a
standard.
reason lah,
It's there
dude.
for you need the wing mirrors, right? But imagine if your wing mirror already on a bus, right? You're gonna get hit really badly in the head. Imagine you're on the sharp edges of your GT wing.
Oh yeah.
You're just gonna, you know, saw someone in half.
The poor Ama is gonna be
Final destination.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay, so you guys both agree that the legal, or rather according to LTA's guidelines of the GT wing, whatever is stated there makes sense.
Yeah, that
right?
makes sense.
You would agree, right? Okay. Now, so far we've been talking about, specifically we've been talking about the exhaust, we've been talking about GT wing and all that. What about engine modifications? What do you guys think about it? I want to do something to my car to make it go faster.
Actually, before we touch on engine modifications, there is a modification guideline thing that to me really doesn't make sense.
Oh, good. This is good stuff. Tell me, what doesn't make sense to you?
Aftermarket headlights.
LTA.
Oh yes, I completely agree.
Wait, hold
Because by LTA guidelines, you're not allowed to change out your stock headlights for
Okay.
anything else.
Yes,
But
this.
Cars these days already come with basically collapsed suns on the front of their car, right? And you're telling me that, you know, in my, you know, 15-year-old...
Lined you out.
Yeah, in my 15-year-old, you know, Japanese hatchback or whatever, with my halogen lights that...
on. Okay,
barely
wait.
work,
I have a rebuttal to this, but I will come to that. Okay.
and I can't see anything. If I want to change them out for normal, decently, like, lit lights so I can see the road, I can't because that's illegal.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before I rebut, Thern Yang, do you agree with him in this?
I do.
You do?
I do. I
Okay.
actually do. Once again, I'm sorry. Going back to the Vezel. I'm sorry, okay, but
Oh my God.
I've done like some like
Honda,
yeah.
are you? If you are the chairman of the Honda Vezel Club or something like that, right?
Nigel,
The
his name is
problem is,
Nigel.
Buy him a
His name is
beer.
Nigel.
No. Sorry, no drink driving. Buy him a apple juice. I don't know. Okay.
the problem is this man drives a Vezel.
Okay.
Okay, the previous
No
gen,
wonder.
I'm sorry, the Vezel. I love
Okay.
that car. Yeah, the previous gen Vezel, it came with halogens and it came with LEDs. Yeah, I think you've seen it on the road.
It's interesting he mentioned that because if you watch my review of the Vezel, that's actually one of the reasons I state for people falling in love with the Vezel because of its bright HID lights. Okay, so
Yeah.
yep.
It comes with depending on the spec, it can come with halogens, it can come with LED.
Oh, so there's both, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
and then going back to
I'll correct
Aiden's
that.
point about this lighting issue, right?
Mhm.
Like he said, if you were to change the lights on a halogen equipped Vezel to a LED to 8 LED
Okay.
equipped lights, basically it is illegal. Why? Because it didn't come from the factory.
Okay.
And then I think I've seen that regulation before. LTA says what? Oh, because it affects the recognition of the car by pedestrians or other drivers or some,
No, it might blind, cause
something,
glare,
something along those lines. But then
affect visibility of other
yeah,
motorists.
something along
Okay,
those lines.
so-
Like you said, deep seas like a collapsed sun. right now.
Well, okay, so I will admit, maybe the terminology used, LTA, maybe you can make some changes, rather than saying that you might blind someone out, okay. But again, playing the devil's advocate, I don't know whether this makes sense to you, but this is how I look at it. All right, so when you're dealing with all these vehicles, there's no one size fits all. Agreed? Okay, there's no one size fits all. So because of that, to give you a guideline, the law states that you should not change your front headlights. So, for example, if I'm driving, like for me, for those of you who know, I drive a 91 Honda Civic, right? So those come with the boring yellow halogen lights. So why they don't want you to change it is because, and I've experienced this myself, there are cars who do this kind of modifications. They change the front headlight to your LED, whatever it is, right? And because it's not fitted properly, it really does blind me out. It does blind me out. And I'm not just talking about cars. I'm talking about, Hiace?
Yep.
There are some Hiaces. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, those guys.
As it is, they're high. And when I drive my Civic, right, I'm really down low. And so this one really blinds me out, right? So I start to see that, again, because of my maturity. Okay, but then again,
No, you
I start to see the logic. Now I know why LTA has this rule. And again, I started off by saying there's no one size fits all because, yes, you can turn around and argue and say that, look, the Vezel, there is the exact same thing that comes with the HID lights. But then again, if they're going to start bending the rules for one particular car and say, okay, we approve it for the Vezel, then what happens to all the other cars, right?
No,
So
I mean,
that's
I
my
understand,
point lah.
I understand, your point.
Okay.
But I think there is a solution.
What's the solution?
Instead of
Transport minister to be, all right?
instead
No,
of
just kidding.
instead of regulating like the fact that nobody can change the headlights. Instead,
Okay.
regulate the brightness of the headlight. You can change too.
But then again, if you do that, right, then you have to. Then what's going to happen is just like exhaust. Once you fit, for those of you who don't know, right, once you fit in even an approved exhaust, you still got to bring the car back to Vicom or STA, right, and go get it tested where they do the test for the emissions and the noise check. Which means what you're saying is you can install the headlights, but then you got to bring it back to Vicom, STA
To
and
check
go
the
do
brightness and check
check and all
the
that, right?
aim.
But isn't that like more work?
I mean, if you're really doing it for exhaust, if people want to change the lights that badly, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I think if there's if people want to do it, why not just accommodate the people who want to do it?
Okay, I will admit that is a good point. So if we can accommodate to people who want to change exhaust in a legal way, why not accommodate to someone who wants to change their headlights in a legal way? That's what you guys are saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe if you can get enough people to write in to LTA to petition. Okay, that is a good point. But again, I would say that there are still some counter arguments like what I mentioned, right? Which you, to a certain extent, would agree because there are many clowns out there who would do it and do it the wrong way. Tell me an example of a modification, a so-called illegal modification by LTA's standards, which you find totally ridiculous. Tell me. Maybe Thern Yang, we can start with you. Totally out of this world and something where you'll be like, what, seriously, LTA? Like, seriously? Yeah.
Oh
that
yeah,
kind of thing.
you can't. If your car doesn't have like, as your car has forced induction, you can't change the turbo to like a larger one. I think.
Yeah, you can.
Can you upgrade the
You can.
turbo?
You can upgrade the turbo.
You cannot put a turbo on an NA car, but you can upgrade your turbo.
That one too. You can't. I'm not. Okay, I didn't know about that.
Well, this is a huge thing, you know. You guys, whatever you guys are saying is a huge thing, you know. So you are saying that you don't understand why you're not allowed to change from a smaller or a stock turbo to a bigger turbo.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Anyone I knew about.
Yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure on a turbo car, you can change out your turbo.
Okay.
As to whether or not there are guidelines and restrictions to what kind of turbo and how big a turbo you can change to, that one I'm not entirely sure.
I'm sure there is one, right? But you're saying.
But I know you can change your turbo.
Is it okay? The one I'm not entirely sure about.
But
that one.
I know for sure on an NA car, you cannot add a turbo or
that I will vouch
supercharger.
for it because I've been a victim of that before during my younger days. By the way, okay, not anymore. Huh? Yeah, okay. I tell you what, I find something that's a bit ridiculous, and maybe you guys can tell me whether it makes sense to you. One of the modifications which I find that are totally like doesn't make sense to me. And I'm coming from a performance car perspective, which is including a roll cage into a car. Why? Maybe you guys can share your thoughts on this. Why is it not allowed? This is something I do not understand.
Okay, this I actually know the reason for.
Oh, good. Tell me.
Okay, because in a roll cage
Okay.
on track,
Okay.
you have to wear a helmet. Because in the event of an accident,
Okay.
what they don't want is you banging your head on bare metal.
What if the roll cage is padded?
It's still not ideal.
Is it?
Yeah. Because it's the same reason why pretty much any car you have a roll cage in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to wear a helmet. Because in the event anything happens, you don't want to just whack your head.
So if I install a roll cage into my car and I wear a helmet every day and drive, is that okay?
I don't actually know if you're allowed to wear a helmet and drive.
Actually,
in
I thought
Singapore.
the roll cage issue is if it's factory installed, like those Porsche GT3.
Yep.
Isn't that like allowed? If
That's
it's
allowed, I
factory
think.
installed, right?
So
But-
why doesn't my head matter then?
That's a very good question.
Okay, so
That one's a half
and,
cage, right?
and to add more fuel to the fire, again, I don't exactly know the laws, which I think I should have done the research, but then again, you know how we are. There are certain roll cages where if it's bolted on, it's approved. If it's welded on, it's not approved. Something along those lines. Okay, so
I think I've heard something
Yeah.
about that before.
yeah, so you see, so there are, like I mentioned, you know, on the LT website, there are some modifications which I feel that are questionable. In fact, you know what? For those of you who are watching or listening, whatever it is, why don't you tell me? You know, as I grew older, I start to see the logic behind certain restrictions, like you know how I explained to you regarding the exhaust mods and the GT wings, like what we discussed, right? What do you think is something that's I would say, for the lack of a better word, ridiculous? All right, when it comes to, you know, list of modifications that are classified as illegal.
Quick release steering wheels.
Quick release steering wheel.
I think that one's the airbag issue, right? Like the whole modified steering wheel thing.
Oh, is it?
I think you can change your steering wheel.
I'm not sure if you can or cannot. That one's
So I am pretty sure you can change your steering
But I
wheel.
know you cannot put a quick release
But
steering
you
wheel.
cannot put a quick release steering wheel. And I think, I don't know, maybe for that one, I
guess they don't want the wheel falling off halfway
yeah,
while you drive.
the only logical thing is they wouldn't want it falling off. I don't know. But questionable mods, I think, for those of you who don't already know, right? So there is a list of things where you actually can modify. There are things that you can do to your car, and a lot of you guys actually think it's illegal. And the reason I'm bringing this up, right, is because, again, based on personal experience, I have encountered sometimes a car, maybe a car that's, say, something that's more performance-based, like an Evo 10, right? He has approved exhaust on his car, all right? And as he drives up the multi-story car park, he's going to make a ton of a noise, yes, even though it's an approved exhaust. But to the layman, they feel that, wow, this car is really, really noisy. Confirm illegal modification. I'm going to 1-800-CALL LTA, and I'm going to lodge a complaint on this car. And the next thing you know, the next day, all over social media and all our car groups, private WhatsApp car groups, you see the picture going viral of this LTA guy bending down,
doing yoga in front of the car.
doing yoga, showing his ass and trying to check out the exhaust and all that. And then the whole thing goes viral, and then there's an uproar in the car modification, car enthusiast community, people saying, oh, we're being targeted at this, that, blah, 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 and all that, right? So there are actually instances where the modification is legal, but you just don't know because you're not a car enthusiast. So that matters. In fact, on that topic, maybe you guys can tell me also. First thing, what do you think? Do you think we are being targeted? We are all car enthusiasts here, right? If you're not a car enthusiast and you're watching this, good. But the majority of us, we are all car enthusiasts. What do you think? Do you think we're being targeted based on this example?
I think car modifications and people who do mods to their cars get a lot of extra attention, especially when it comes to driving standards.
Why
or
do you think
accidents. Because I think the general person just kind of sees car mods and it's like, you see lah, he go and mod his car, he want go fast or that kind of, he want to race here, race there.
So it's like a stigma issue.
I think so.
It is a stigma issue.
And then end up, you crash. But then by that logic, have you seen how you drive a blue SG and end up in the drain?
Before you drive a blue SG car, I think you need to go through a second test. You can reach out to Aiden or go back to because the number of, I don't know, especially recently of late, I don't know if you guys have been keeping track. Blue SG. Yeah, he's right. It's Blur SG already. Please guys, wake up. Okay, but anyway, yeah, go on. You were saying?
Yeah, so just I think we get a lot of unfair extra attention. I'm not saying that people who modify the cars don't drive like idiots. Some of them definitely do. I've seen them with my own two eyes.
Yep.
But
Don't you want?
hang on, my car is stock.
Really?
Stock is best.
Yes.
Really? Do you
My
have a
car
sticker that
is-
says stock is best?
No, because my car is stock.
Very
You
well.
don't even have a sticker.
Very well.
Okay, what about you, Thern Yang? Thern Yang, what do you think? Why do you think, okay, since you agreed on stigma, why, and I believe I speak for the whole car community here, why is there this stigma surrounding us?
You hear a noisy car go by. Our parents' generation, oh look, Abeng car. First thing that people usually
What if it's an Indian guy? Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, I get that. Yeah. Okay.
Abeng Indian money.
Okay.
I'm trying to be racially equal here. But
Okay.
you get the point.
Yeah, of course, of course.
People just have that, they just associate, car modification and loud cars with, like the less savory people. Now, I know my mom does that. My dad, unfortunately, also does that.
Okay.
And most of my friends' parents also do that.
Okay.
So I think we are being unfairly judged. And then, for some reason, the recent car meet, the one that Kallang Car Park.
Yeah.
When it
Oh
was-
my god, that
yeah,
one
no, it's-
I really feel for the organizers, man. You know what they went through after that. I heard they got like called in.
Yeah, I think his name
for questioning.
is Raimi from Into the Night. I think generally, the whole meet was pretty civil.
Did you go?
No, unfortunately, I had work the next day and I was drunk that night. So
I was also drunk that night.
yeah,
Hey, come on, man. This is a car show, man. What are you talking about? Getting drunk and all. Guys, come on. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
so-
drink, by the way, yeah. Hashtag.
Don't
not
drink and
drinking
drive.
Indians. Not the Indian that doesn't drink. Okay, but anyway, go on.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I heard the meet was pretty civil until some guys started going in and then
It's always until
some guys started going in and like revving their engines. I mean, the cops were already there; they knew about it.
one guy who starts to rev.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, sir. I accidentally stepped the accelerator.
Yeah,
Actually, no. I from what I heard, right, traffic police were actually really nice. Like they were letting
Yeah,
people
yeah,
like
police,
take photos with their bikes.
Really?
yeah. The cops were
Like
actually
they
very
post,
civil. The cops
they
were there;
post
they
their
knew about
TP
it.
bikes, and then they were like, like they post their TP
They
bikes.
allow people to post to the TP bike.
Like people letting people take photos of the TP bikes.
I
If
mean, it's a
you
nice
were the traffic
BMW
police
bike,
involved and you did that, please, I want to know who you are. You need to be on our show. I want to talk to you.
Let's be honest, the TP bikes are quite nice. Isn't it?
No, they are, they
They're
are.
1002cc BMW bikes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet,
Yeah, especially when they are in your rearview mirror with the blinker on.
The real kings of the road.
Sweet. Sir, please pull over. Okay.
But
yeah.
I think it was good until people really started to, some idiots started to like really just mess around
Okay.
and started creating
So
excessive noise.
I want to stress on this point, like what Thern Yang said, that important word, idiot. Now, how do you define an idiot? An idiot is basically when you do something when you're not supposed to do it. You're the person who did that something when you're not supposed to do it. And to connect it back to what he said in the beginning, you can do it, just don't get caught. So the reason why I feel bad for the organizers of that event was because I remember I actually saw the invite. I didn't go. I don't go for meets, by the way. It states there, please don't,
He
don't
said- he
rev,
stated,
and
don't do anything.
don't do this and don't do that. But of course, I I think I can speak for the organizer when I say in the back of his head, he probably would have thought, yeah, I have done my due diligence to tell you not to do this and not to do that. So even if you still do it, I will not be held liable. But hey, guess what? A week after the event, you're having coffee at LTA or having coffee at TP. So I think we are digressing a little bit here. So this illegal mods, right? Do you think this stigma that we were talking about, modifications, right? Linking it back to these idiots, okay, for the lack of a better word, I'm going to say idiots, right? Do you think they are the cause of this?
I think they just give a very bad name because they're the ones that get seen.
Yep.
Yeah, the black sheep are always the ones who are more prominent.
You know, like you have so many
Nothing to do
people
with race,
who,
but he means black sheep. Okay. Yeah.
you have so many people who do modify their cars even very extensively, but they're perfectly civil human beings.
Okay.
They'll just go under the radar. What?
Let me just iron this thing out, right? So I think we are pretty clear on what the problem is in this sense because we have so-called idiots, right? And I think we are pretty clear that we can more or less agree with LTA's list of what can and cannot be done. Safe to say? Yeah? I think it kind of makes sense, right? Okay. Then this brings me to my next question, all right, which is basically, does this list of modifications actually take away the freedom of modifying cars in Singapore? And yes, we would agree to a certain extent, yes, it does. What are your thoughts on this? If you're a car enthusiast, if you're not a car enthusiast, it doesn't matter, just stick a sticker on your car and call it a mod. But for proper car enthusiasts who really want to do something to their car, do you think they are being restricted? The freedom is being taken away? Aiden, maybe you tell me.
I mean, I think for the most part, you are still able to modify your cars to a pretty decent extent.
Okay.
But if you want to be more serious about it, you want a turbo K20 or you want to, engine swap a car, then obviously by LTA's regulations, you're stopped from doing such things.
Okay. But then again, so back to the question. So put it this way, if you are, assuming you're not an idiot, which I hope I can do, assuming you're not an idiot and you really want to modify your car based on LTA's list of restrictions, do you feel that your freedom is being taken away and you're being robbed of your freedom?
I don't think I'm being robbed that much. Limiting my options maybe, but chances are I still have, a pretty decent selection of mods to choose from, especially for the essential ones, right? Suspension, tires, brakes.
That's a good point.
Yeah. For the essential things, I think even with LTA's restrictions, you're still able to get that done. Now,
so you feel that the leeway that they have given us is not, of course, 100%, but it's still sufficient. That's what you're saying, right?
for the most part, yeah.
For the most part. What about you, Thern Yang?
I mean, rules are there for a reason, unfortunately. And how we interpret the rules is also up to us to a certain degree. And I also feel that the rules help to promote our creativity.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, a car, why you modify it? Because you want to make it yours. You want to, it's your canvas basically.
Yep.
So the rules are there as your guidelines, how you go about, navigating those rules to create something that is yours. I think that is, the more important thing.
Okay.
Like, yes, there are limiting factors. Yes,
Okay.
it could be limiting to certain issues, especially if you drive like a less popular model. That one,
Like a Vezel? No, that's popular. Okay.
Really, is it? But yeah, I mean, if
Okay.
if you put enough effort, I believe that even you don't drive like a really popular model, you can still make it yours while still keeping within these guidelines and rules. Yeah, it's all up to how you want to do it lah. More
Okay.
effort, but yeah.
I really, really want to hear your thoughts on this. Guys, if you're watching, right, let me know. Especially if you're a car enthusiast. I do consider myself a car enthusiast, and I will definitely say that I have had a fair share. In fact, I've lost track of the number of times I've gotten stopped by LTA, especially during my younger days. Okay, but right now, no. Okay, it's kind of toned down. So if you're an LTA officer watching this, please don't stop me. But I want to know what you think, because honestly, I feel that this is a very complex problem. There are many car enthusiasts out there who are crying and shouting and saying that, oh, you don't allow us to do this, don't allow us to do that, blah, 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 and all that. And also, I want to link the fact that, how many people are crying out for a track in Singapore. Yeah. In
That
fact,
is
I'm one of
something I
them.
would agree with.
Yeah, in fact, I am one of them. But then again, I also did think about it. I know we have already overrun the time, but I just want to touch on this very quickly. Since I brought up track and you agree, you do recall that we were supposed to have a track in Changi,
Yeah.
right? Back
Changi
in,
Exhibition Center, right? That's right.
Yeah.
Changi Motorsports Hub.
Yes.
Motorsports Hub, I think back in 2012, and then they scrapped the idea, and I was so upset.
No, but they scrapped it because financial issues,
Financial issues,
like
and this kind of
payment issues.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, the company ran out of money or something, right? Yeah.
thing. But put it this way, from a diplomatic standpoint or from a layman's standpoint, do you really think, as much as I would love and I would kill for a track here in Singapore, so we don't have to drive all the way up to Sepang, but do you really think it makes sense in our land restricted country like Singapore? Economical sense and, whatever sense. Does it make sense?
No, it doesn't make sense, but I want it anyway.
Spoken like a true enthusiast. So, you see, it is true. We do realize, that certain things don't make sense. And, to the contrary, right? If we do have a track here in Singapore, it may even work the other way. More people may start breaking the rules and start flaunting the rules because now there's a track for them to, for a reason, gives them a reason to do these legal modifications because they want to go faster on the track. Because I used to think that, hey, there's a track, so now there's a controlled environment, but that's not necessarily true. So how I feel is, it is still a very grey area. There's still two sides to the coin, and the never changing truth is, no matter what, the stigma, I think, is going to be there for a really long time, and no matter what, there are going to be idiots, for the lack of a better word, out there. So I don't want this to discourage those of you guys who are trying to, organize car meets like the one who did. What's his name again?
I think it's Raimi from Into the Night.
Basement
Raimi.
One.
Oh, so Basement 1.
One.
Yeah, sorry, Basement 1.
Is Raimi, Basement 1. If you are watching, shout out. Well done, man. And I hope next week there's a Basement 2. Whatever it is. Okay. But continue doing that, right? And if you are that, idiot who caused the problem, guys, please stop it, right? It's a small car community, and we are doing what we can to survive. So I really do not feel that we have enough time to talk about this topic, because it's really a big topic, legal and illegal car mods in Singapore. So I'm going to end this off by saying I want to know what your thoughts are, and I want you to tell me what you think should change, especially in our car scene here in Singapore. Tell us in the comments below, share it with us, let us know what you think, and I'll be glad to hear from you. I'm supposed to tell you about the decal, right? Which I totally forgot. Oh my god. Okay guys, very, 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 very interesting initiative from Motorist. It's a decal. We are not giving it away for free. No, you have to pay. It's $10 a decal, and don't worry, all proceeds go to causes for animals. If you're an animal lover, good. If you're not, doesn't matter. Still buy the decal, right? This decal is supposed to encourage good driving etiquette, like giving way, showing your hand, or something, when you cut someone off, right? And just don't speed up and cover the gap when someone's trying to cut in front of you, especially if it's me. So guys, go buy the decal, go buy one for your friends, buy one for your family members, stick it on your car, and we're trying to spread this whole, you have the decal, and this whole bro code, bromance. If you're a girl, it'll still work, don't worry, right? So just, go check it out. It's on the Motorist website. It's $10 a decal. Buy it, and like I said, it's for a good cause, which is animals. All right? I think that's it. Any last parting words, Aiden and Thern Yang, you want to share with all our viewers, all 100,000 of you?
Don't be an idiot.
Thank you. Okay, I really want to... I cannot stress on how important that is. Stop being an idiot, right?
No, sorry. There is a caveat to that. Don't be an idiot. But if you want to be one, don't get caught.
Don't get caught, yeah. In fact, I think I know of times where even Aiden has been an idiot, but you don't know of it because he didn't get caught. What about you, Thern Yang? Anything you want to say to your fellow vessel owners? To the vessel community.
Vessel community, indeed. No, I think I mentioned enough of the vessel today. But instead of continually going after us car enthusiasts for things that we may or may not have done, why not look at the people who hog the first lane on the expressway doing 60 to 70 km per hour.
Blue SG. Oh, okay.
Yes, especially certain drivers of a certain sex. I'm not mentioning anything.
Whoa,
but
sex.
Wait a minute.
Maybe male, maybe female. I don't know. I don't care. I'm really wanting to point
Maybe in
the finger at
between.
you on the expressway, but because I'm a civic-minded and morally upstanding citizen, I have decided to just curse you in my car in a variety of languages, ranging from English, Malay, Chinese, and perhaps Cantonese as well.
Wow.
Yes.
If only this show is under the not safe for you, I think all the curse words would be out now. But yeah, spoken from your heart,
Yes,
I can
absolutely.
see it really. Basically, if you're doing the speed limit, get out of the first lane. Yeah?
Not speed limit, below the speed limit.
Or below the
60, 70 km per hour. I've had it.
Atrach.
Blue SG. Actually, you're fine, right? Blue SGs are the fastest people on Singapore road.
Because of the EV pickup thing, is it?
No, because of the time limit.
Yeah, because
The
in
faster
Blue
you
SG,
go, the faster
But-
you go, the
yeah.
cheaper your cover rate is.
Okay, if you are the owner of Blue SG, we want to buy some shares in your company. Honestly, really, because we have okay now it's becoming a turf war already. Okay, but thank you, Aiden, and thank you, Thern Yang, for this very special episode. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We will be meeting again on our next Talk Car Sing Song. Again, don't know who thought of that topic. All right, so thank you, and on behalf of Motorist and my two guests, I want to say thank you, take care, and drive safe.
Motorist.